You've asked me questions, and I'm here to answer them, while also trying not to burn up in this massive heat wave. So the first question is, how did you choose your name? So this could have two meanings. Either you're asking how I chose my username, or my chosen name. Because I did choose both of them. I start with my username first. So basically, it doesn't have a meaning. It was just me, when I was 13 or so, looking for an online name that I could use for games and everything. And I just started aligning random letters until I had something that was somewhat interesting. Said, not really meaning, it just sounded cool to me back then, and it kind of stuck with me. So how did I think of my chosen name? That's fairly simple, to be honest. So I had a couple of names in mind, but just to be sure, I looked through some name lists. I've looked at a bunch of these naming lists and then decided on about 5 or 7 of the names that I liked. And then I asked my girlfriend to call me by these names over the span of a week. And that may give me like this feeling of what works for me and what clicks. And eventually I stuck with Chloe. Also, that was one of the names that I had in mind before I looked at the naming lists, just because I was thinking of Chloe Price from Life is Strange, who gave me so much gender envy the first time that I played that game. Not only then, also nowadays. But yeah, that's kind of the origin story of my name. What did it feel like to receive gender affirmation for the first time, and what was your process in learning to accept them? Well, I'm not quite sure what my first time receiving gender affirmation was, but I remember one of the earliest things that stood out to me was maybe a month or so after coming out. I was going to a concert of Ado with my then girlfriend, and after that concert we visited some of her friends because they lived close by. And before the concert, we went shopping, and that was the first time I bought girl clothes. And I didn't wear them for the concert, I wanted to do, but I was a bit too shy for that. But after the concert, I changed, and then we went to her friends and had a party there. And everyone was super nice to me, everyone accepted me, and made compliments on how my outfit looked, and that was just feeling so good to me. And that's a memory that has stuck around. And what was the process in learning to accept them? I don't really think I had a process on that one. I just did it. I don't know. I knew the people meant it well, and yeah, I took it like that. I didn't have any self-doubt in that regards. I got a compliment, I accepted it, it made me super euphoric, and that's basically it. So I didn't have to convince myself that's true, what they say, or something like that. How is streaming to you? And what do you see your future in streaming? Well, streaming has become so much to me. It has given me so many good memories, and I've also made so many new friends who I regard as some of my closest friends by now. And that's just something that I am so grateful for. I tried streaming a couple of years ago, and I didn't really stuck with it. It wasn't mine. I preferred making videos where I could script and plan everything and didn't have to be myself live. But I've conquered that fear and come around. And a good friend of mine who also streams was actually the one who convinced me to stream in the first place, and I'm very thankful for her that she did that, because I don't know where I would be right now if I didn't take her up on that offer. Also because of the streaming, my life took some turns that I never expected it to do. For example, I ended up being an editor for one of the friends that I made. I mean, I'm not editing for them anymore. That has some personal issues that I don't want to address in this video. That's a completely different topic, but still, I really enjoyed the time I spent as an editor, and I made so many new memories and experiences during that time that still impacts me today. And where do I see myself in the future considering streaming? Well, I'd really love to stream more often. Currently I'm streaming 3 to 4 days per week, usually rather 3 days. And I really hope that I can stream more in the future, but I'm not so sure at the moment. I always dream big and hope that one day that could maybe become my full-time job, but I'm also very realistic about that, and currently it's more of a hobby. I do earn money with it, I want to be that transparent. It's not like I don't earn anything from it, but it's not nearly enough to live off it. It's more like a side job, but I wouldn't really consider it like that. More of a paid hobby, if that makes sense at all. But I do try my best to always keep on improving in content creation, regardless if it's making videos, if it's streaming. I always try to improve myself, learn new skills, or just get better at what I'm doing and get more confident doing so. And I hope that just because of that, because of all of the effort I'm putting into all of this, that both my Twitch and my YouTube channel will grow, and that I can reach more people, just to entertain them and give them a good time. What inspired you to start making content? Oh, that's a tricky one. So, basically I grew up right in the time where YouTube became popular. So, I lived through the early 2010s. I witnessed all the early YouTube channels in Germany back then, because I was a child, I couldn't speak English at that time. But I grew up with channels like Cold Mirror or Apple War Pictures. That was my childhood, and I always wanted to do something like that. I always had that calling me to do videos of my own. And relatively soon, I started like joking around with friends, and we were filming us doing stupid stuff. And thank God that doesn't exist anymore. We did some really stupid shit back then. But that's how it started. I tried making videos a couple of times, different things. I made drawing videos once, then I switched over to gaming, then I stopped, then I started again, then I stopped, then I started again, then I stopped, and started again, and then I rebranded, and that was when I arrived at this point. And I am certain that I will not stop again, and at least not in the foreseeable future. You never know what will come eventually, but yeah, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I love the community I've built. Like, just looking at my Discord, all of these members have become so important to me, and I chatting to them every day, and just something that's making me so incredibly happy, and I can't think about abandoning that at all. Do you have any tips for people wanting to come out of a closet? Oh, there are many things you can do. It's highly dependent on the situation. First of all, you'd have to consider who you're coming out to. Do you want to come out to your friends, to your family, maybe siblings, your extended family, or just someone you vaguely know? Like, these are all things that you'd have to consider for that, because everything has their own level of intimacy. I can be more open with my friends than I can be with my family, just because I have a different connection to my friends than I have to my family. But once you figured out what kind of relationship you have with that person you want to come out, you can start to set your sights on the actual goals and how you want to achieve coming out to them. First of all, keep in mind, this is nothing that has to be rushed. Take your time with it. If you're not ready at the moment, wait. If you feel like the person you want to come out is not ready for this at the moment, wait a bit. Don't wait forever. Like, there's definitely a point where it could lead to difficulties because you waited too long. But try to be ready and try to see if a person themselves are ready. Then also, you don't have to do it alone. If you want to come out to your parents, for example, and you've already come out to a sibling or to a friend, you can ask them to accompany you and give you some moral support. Often it's just enough if they're just sitting next to you, or just maybe hold your hand, show their presence, and show you that you're not alone in this. And that can give you the confidence that you might need to tell others about such an intimate thing. But you don't necessarily have to do that in person. You could write a letter, for example, or actually I did come out to some of my friends just over a simple WhatsApp message. Okay, it wasn't simple, it was like this whole giant paragraph, because I was going through a tough time at the moment, and I just let my emotions go, wrote this enormous text, and sent that to everyone that I wanted to know at the time, and I've got good responses from it. So many people have just contacted me after that, told me how they'd appreciated that I told them, and how much they support me. And if they had any questions, they asked me, and it just turned out good in my case. But you'd have to decide that for yourself if that's the approach you want to take. If you could tell your past self one thing, what would it be? I think that's fairly obvious. I mean, I am a person who has a lot of self-doubt, and I'm super self-conscious, and basically I hate myself very much. And there are many things I regret in my life and that I'd like to change. But if I had to choose one thing, it would have definitely just been the fact that I would like to have been more informed when I was younger. Like, back then, I didn't know what transgender was. The whole concept was just foreign to me. I grew up in a small village in the countryside, so no big city, not many people. Everyone was just very conservative and very self-contained. You didn't get to meet many people who had many facets to them. Everyone was just kind of the same, and yeah, I was kind of stuck in that mindset just because I didn't know it better. And as I grew up and discovered the internet, I learned more about myself, I learned more about culture, and eventually everything just went down its own path. And I wouldn't want to change that necessarily. I just would have had that earlier. For example, if I would have known during my puberty that there are things like puberty blockers that you can take to have some advantages on HRT later, oh, you can bet your ass I would have taken these. Any tips for dealing with dysphoria? Actually, I've got some tips for that, but I will not go too deeply into this question because I am planning to do a whole dedicated video on this topic, so you can wait for that. Just a quick thing for now, try to figure out what the biggest source of dysphoria is for you in that moment. If it's, for example, your body hair, or I don't know, the shape of your body, try to make out what is the thing that is bothering you the most at the moment, and try to work piece by piece at it. If it's your body shape, you can start going to the gym, for example. If you don't want to do that in public, you can start exercising at home. There are many great apps and tutorials on exercises that you can do yourself at home without the need of any equipment or to go out and socialize with other people or be seen by other people. So that, for example, would be one measure that you could take. So identify and then work on the problem. Okay, that's a random one. What is your favorite milk flavor? First of all, milk has different flavors? Like, I know that there's different kinds of milk, but I wouldn't say that's different flavors. Besides that, I don't drink regular milk anymore because I try to live vegan, mostly. Not fully yet, still trying. On my way, I get there one day. One day I get there. But yeah, most of the time I just drink almond milk. My girlfriend prefers, what's it called? Not soy milk? That one? Oat milk. That's what it's called. My girlfriend prefers oat milk. I prefer almond milk. And yeah, I mean, I don't care either way. Both is fine. You have to get used to it a bit in the beginning, because it does taste different, definitely, but it's still fine. How many blowhigh are too many blowhigh? There is no such thing. Get as many as you can. I don't care if you need an extra bed just for them. Go get it. Go get them. Currently, I do own 3 if you count mine and my girlfriend's together. We do have, each of us has their own, and we rescued one from a flea market when we were on holiday in Amsterdam. We're just walking around there because my girlfriend's parents wanted to go there, and in some random corner I spotted this familiar blue, weirdly aquatic shaped plushie, and I immediately realized, Blowhigh, get it, rescue it. And it was super cheap. It cost us like, what was it, 3 or 4 euros? It was basically gifted to us. It was a bit dirty, but yeah, we took it with us, threw it in a washing machine, and that's it. It's now laying in my girlfriend's place currently. Hopefully we can move together in a reasonable amount of time soon. and then our blowhides can finally become one big family. Also, it was super cute how my girlfriend was carrying that thing through the whole city of Amsterdam, because it took a while until we got back to the hotel, and yeah, that was very cute. Do you know how to make grilled cheese? Never done it before, but I can't imagine that it's too hard. I mean, I've been living alone for 5 years now, so I did have to learn how to cook for myself. I should be able to do that. So, hey, if I find a vegan grilled cheese anytime soon, I might try it. What's your favorite pride flag based purely on how they look? Oh shit. Give me a moment, I might have to look some things up. Because there's so many, I don't have all of them in my head right now. So I will look them up right now, just so that I can get a better overview, and then I will tell you what my favorite is, just from a design perspective. I mean, obviously, my most favorite is going to be the trans or the transparent flag, because that's the one that's most fitting to me. But yeah, it's not about that, we're just talking purely aesthetic based. Alright, I've looked at all the flags, and yeah, so just from an aesthetic point, my favorite is going to be the lesbian flag. It just resonates so much with me, like the gradient looks so nice. It's not a stark difference between the colors, it's a nice gradient, and it just looks cozy with the bright oranges, and I really like that. Also, I really like orange. Orange is like one of my favorite color. What is your favorite time of the year? I'd say it's probably late spring or early fall. Because that's the time when it's not too hot, because the summer heat hasn't started yet or is slowing down, but it's also not too cold and not too stormy. If you go to late fall, yeah, no, you're just getting shit weather. It's just stormy all the time, dark clouds everywhere. Don't like that. Early spring, it's still snowing here in early spring. So yeah, welcome to Germany. And right now, we do have May, and it's 30 fucking degrees in here. I am melting. For the Americans, in Europe you don't have air conditioning by standard. So most houses do not have an AC, so we suffer in the heat. We don't get much heat every year. It's usually like just 1 or 2 weeks where I have these massive heat waves, and then it's fine for the rest of the summer. But when it strikes, oh, that's so annoying. How many countries have you visited? Okay, now I'd have to differentiate between been in and actually been in. Cause when I was younger, we went to Croatia by car, which means I've passed through a lot of countries on the way, but I've just been there in a car. I haven't actually stopped there, explored the country, explored the culture. So I'm not going to count these countries. I only count the countries that I've actually spent time in. Okay, so let me think. So, of course, obviously Germany, that's where I live. Then I've been on a field trip to England, stayed in London for a week. I have been to Italy multiple times, like 2 times now. One time was in the north, in the mountains, and one time was in Marseille. I've been in Spain, in Barcelona to be precise. Then I've been on Mallorca, so still Spain. I've been in Turkey, also Croatia, already mentioned that. I just noticed, did I say Marseille when I was talking about Italy? Marseille is in France. I've been to France, so I've been to Marseille in France, but I've also been to Italy, the northern section, the mountains, and in Rome. I just mixed it up because I was on a cruise. I wouldn't go on a cruise myself because I feel super bad for the environment, but my parents invited me and my sister, and it was a gift, and they already got the tickets in advance before we knew, so I couldn't do much, and I just went along with it then. And it went around the Mediterranean areas, so that's when I visited Spain, Italy, France. And that's why I got that mixed up for a moment. I'm very sorry for that. Please don't throw stones at me. Please don't. I'm sorry. I just mixed something up. I noticed it. I corrected myself. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and I'm regularly in the Netherlands because multiple reasons. First up, my mother's family comes from the Netherlands. So when I was younger, we were visiting her family there. I don't have contact to them anymore because my great-grandparents passed away who lived there, and my distant aunts and uncles, like, I don't even know how I'm related to them. I have, no connection to them. Sometimes I see them on, like, larger family gatherings, but that's like once in 6 years or something, so yeah. But I grew up near the border, still live near the border, so it's easy for me to cross it. And also my girlfriend studies in the Netherlands, so whenever I'm visiting her, I obviously am in the Netherlands. And no, I do not speak Dutch. I can understand it a bit, but I can't speak it. My mother was actually very insulted because when I was in high school, I had to choose another language, and I could choose between Spanish and Dutch, and I chose Spanish. Do I still speak Spanish? Not a single word. Okay, that's not true. I can probably get around with the basics, but my Spanish is not good anymore. Meow. 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 Kitty. What is your favorite bit of your streaming career? So you mean like a bit as in a comedy thing, like a joke? I guess that would be the paint shaker then. Those people that watch my streams do know. So just as an explanation, one of my earliest streams, I think it was the third stream or so that I ever did, was an IRL stream where I was painting up an Sister of the Battle Canoness, jumper canoness. And there are these fancy vortex mixers that people use to properly shake their paint bottles, but I don't have one of these. So I was shaking it with my hands, and that made a very funny motion. So I thought, okay, maybe let's not do that on cam. And then I looked around, was like, oh, these vortex shakers, they work with vibration. I do have something similar laying around here. So I reached over towards my bed, grabbed the thing that was laying on there, and used that by pressing it against the paint pot to shake and stir the paints inside. Yes, I used the vibrator to shake my warmer paints. What is your favorite channel lore? Oh, that's easy. That would be this cute little fellow. I mean, look at him. Gotta give him some head pats. So, quick explanation to this and how that came into being. In one of the earliest streams, it must have been in the second week of streaming, because that was the first stream after I hit affiliate, which took me like around a week. And I did unlock monetization because of that. And I didn't expect people to immediately subscribe and throw bits at me and stuff like that. And one of the things that happened was that someone, either Melissa or I think Melissa started. I've got to look that up. They used a sound emote they can use for bits, and that was the lizard sound. And then others picked up on that, and during that stream alone, so many lizard clips and audio plugins were redeemed that I just went like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna drag this lizard and put it onto the screen. And later on I added kitty ears to make it fit more to the whole channel theme. What does it feel like to have a Discord server full of clicker-trained transfem kittens? I love it. I love the power I have over you bottoms. All I have to do is press this little thing here, and that sound alone will leave you shaking and begging for more. I love my power, and I use it. And I love to use it. And I will continue to use it. You cute little kitties. How does transition influence on how you perceive love and intimacy? So I made an entire video about that, so if you want to go into greater detail about that, watch that. I will link it below. Also, you can click that funny little icon in the top right corner and also get to that. But yeah, the short answer to that is I've grown to appreciate it way more than before. What is something you like to do to yourself to cheer yourself up? Not say for work specifically. Interesting. The last point of that changes some things. So what I do is when I have a bad time and want to feel better and just release some stress, if you know what I mean, is I am very audio sensitive. So I put on some good headphones and I will listen to an audio roleplay, and yeah, I will use that to relieve some pressure. So that have been all questions for today. If you do have more questions, feel free to ask them either in the comments or my Discord channel if you haven't joined that already. Speaking of which, on my Discord channel you can interact with our community for things like this. I often do mini events similar to this, where I do like personality tests or things like that. So if you're interested in that and just chatting with like-minded people, that's the place to go. Also, that's the best place to always keep updated on any news and every updates to all of my socials, so YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and so on and so on. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a comment and share it to your friends. That really helps me just pushing the algorithm to support this channel a bit. And with all of that being said, I hope to see you next time, hopefully very soon. Bye bye!